Okay, Psalms 119. Lord, I love your commands. I have said, O Lord, that my heart is to keep your words. The law of your mouth is to me more precious than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Let your kindness comfort me, according to your promise to your servants. Let your compassion come to me, that I may live. For your law is my delight. For I love your commands more than gold, however fine. For all your I forget how to say this word, precepts. Did I say that right, guys? Okay. I go forward. Every false way I hate.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Romans. Brothers and sisters, we for the good, for those who love God, we are called according to his purpose. For those he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, so that he might be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. And those he predestined, he also called. And those he called, he also justified. And those he justified, he also glorified. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Let's stand strong.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A proclamation of the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure buried in a field, which a person finds and hides again, and out of joy goes and sells all that he has, and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant searching for fine pearls. When he finds a pearl of great price, he goes and sells all that he has and buys it." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Please be seated. So since 1975, it has been 39 years. 39 years. So when you were in 1975, you were 16 years old.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Now you know how old we are.
And then we can add 39.
59. I know that's right. Do the math.
39. Okay. So, is this your first reunion since 1975?
I think this is
Lots
the
of
most
reunions.
This is the
Okay.
most attendees.
So, year after year,
Almost.
Almost, wow.
3 times a year.
3 times a year.
No, that's
How
not
about those from Canada and what, Japan too?
Japan. She's from
So
Japan.
you come,
She's from Japan.
where do you usually hold your reunion? In California?
No, every 5 years we have a reunion in the Philippines. But here in the US, we go East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
In Toronto.
Whoever is willing to host.
So there must have been something in your year way back in 1975 that united you as a year, and then after that, despite being scattered all over the world, the name for that is in Jewish language diaspora, a dispersed, because we seek our future, right? So there must have been something in your year that united you so much that you seek for this reunion. Correct?
Yes.
So, all right, martial law. That's right. Martial law was proclaimed in 1972. Yeah. Well, you were 14. 16. Well, I was ordained in 1974.
How old were your father at the time?
When I was ordained, now you can arithmetic. I was 28.
Okay.
And
Plus 39 to that.
plus
40.
40.
Oh.
That is 68. Yeah.
Oh, you don't look it, Father.
Huh?
You don't look it. You look good.
68, yeah. I just celebrated my 40th year this year. Anyway, it's been quite so many years back. So it's good that you are having this, because I'm sure that you're not just one, or we are not just one in relation to being belonging to a particular class, high school class of 1975. One of the greatest strengths we have in our country, despite so many problems that we have, there's so many problems that we have. One of the many great strengths that we have is one baptism, one faith. And wherever we are, even if we are scattered, we are united by that faith in many, many ways. Amen?
Amen.
That's very correct. That's why we are having this highest form of prayer, the holy sacrifice of the Mass. Now, when you parted ways and after your graduation, I'm sure you never thought that on July 26, you would have a reunion somewhere in Lodi in California.
We didn't even know the
You
look
did
yet.
not even know that where is Lodi. Or you did not know yet whether will I be in America or where will I be. Anyway, the meaning of life is actually a reunion, a separation, and then a greater communion. And of course, when we begin to realize the most profound desire why we want to have a reunion is deeper than like blood affinity or friendship or belonging to a particular class, in this case, University of San Agustin, right? Deeper than all this is the most profound longing of the human heart, which is an eternal communion with God. In time, we try to respond to this most profound longing of the human heart. in whatever way we can be reunited with our friends, with our loved ones, with our respective families, with a particular class. And yet we know it, no matter how we engage or we celebrate or we have this kind of reunion, there is always something lacking which we feel deep in the depths of the human heart. That's why maybe you have noticed this, no matter how happy we may be, no matter how one may become contented in life, there is something there in one's life wherein one is profoundly and deeply lonely. There's something that drives you to go somewhere or do something, for you to go into that or to respond to the drive of being creative and being one, whatever it is, whoever the person may be. But yet there is always lacking until we will be one. We shall have the fulfillment of that profound longing which is in our true eternal homeland with God forever, wherein we are one with one another, yes, that we are one with our eternal God. This is what is at the heart of today's gospel, wherein in the light of today's first reading, Solomon, I'm sure you heard the wisdom of Solomon. You've heard it many, many times before. He sought the way of a caring and open, a heart that respects, a heart that loves, care, openness, respect, understanding. He was seeking for that kind of heart and understanding, a heart that respects, a heart that is open, a heart that is caring. And yet, when a person seeks for this kind of wisdom, it is never enough. Until, in the light of today's gospel, one who seeks for true love seeks the greatest value of all, which is the reign of God. So important is this value that when one finds this pearl of great price, all the other values are relative to or means for all of us to have more and more, to be one more and more in this kingdom or reign of God. Another word for that in our spirituality is to be one in the Spirit of Jesus. So true is this, that no matter what you do in time, it is always lacking. That's why St. Agustin, your patron saint of this university, he said, by the way, have you seen that movie, his very, very good movie, The Restless Heart? It was in the big screen maybe 2 years ago. St. Augustine said, my heart is restless until it finds its rest in God. How true it is. You're restless, and then you found somebody to be with you in the context of marriage, correct? Because you were restless, right? You had a family, or you have a family. But yet, as you have a family, still there is that feeling, there is something lacking. There is something deep in the depths of each one, wherein this profound longing of the human heart is not satisfied by anything, or by anyone, or by a family for that matter, no matter how happy you may be in your family. And so therefore, in the light of today's gospel, because we are seeking the